Hi and welcome to the Scarab Knife Air 270 build videos. Much anticipated. A lot of us have been waiting anxiously for the Air to be released. So here's the build videos. I'm going to go through this pretty quickly because, as you can see, from the frame to the screw packet, it's an exceptionally low parts count. So first step I'm going to do is assemble the frame, and then I'm going to do separate videos for all the different components of the airframe and some of the options as you go along. But this isn't going to be a very long build whatsoever. It's very low parts count, so let me just get some stuff out of plastic and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've unwrapped a lot of stuff and now I'm going to get on with the build. First thing I've done is I've got my Loctite 243. Every metal screw into metal should have Loctite on it, especially on a little airframe like this, because the last thing you want is something rattling apart with very, very fast motors and high prop speeds. So, first step is take your top plate, take your arms. We're going to fit the arms to the top plates. Now, the arms themselves have M3 studs already put into the carbon, so this is actually going to be quite a quick process. We've got a whole stack of M3 by, I guess that's a 10 screws in the kit. So we're just going to use those, and 3 on each arm. Little dot of Loctite on the screw. Start fitting our arms. Okay, 1, 2. 3 screws. Good idea to get all 3 in and then give all 3 a nice little tighten up. Okay, all done. Now I'm going to just rush ahead and do the other 3 arms. Okay, so there's our 4 arms on our top plate. Okay, now at this point in time we have to make a decision. The kit comes with 22mm metal spacers and 30mm metal spacers. Now in the initial kits you only get 21mm aluminium pins. Later there will be 30s. So depending on how you want to assemble it, and I'll go over later in a later video some of the options and why you might pick option A over option B. You get to choose between 30mm spacing, 22mm spacing, and you can buy additional spacers. You could buy 40mm spacers if you wanted to, and have the 2 decks even further apart if you wanted to. But I'm going to do this with 20mm spacers, 22mm spacers. And the first thing I'm going to do is just sit my bottom plate over the top plate and just make sure I'm going to use those 2 screws there. I'm going to use these 2 holes here for my main spacers. Alright, so again, our little M3 screws, tiny bit of Loctite on the screw, feed it through the frame hole and attach the standoff to the plate. Alright, that's standoff number 1. Okay, I'm going to quickly go through now and put the other 4 on. Okay, so with the top plate upside down you can see my 4 22mm standoffs, the red ones. You do get a spare one, and I'm thinking I might end up with him about there, depending on what I end up doing with an FPV camera. With the Mobius on top, I'll definitely do that standoff, but haven't decided on camera yet, so I'm not going to do that just now. So the next thing I need to do is grab some of my good old-fashioned Scarab pins that we all know them well from other Scarab builds, and the M 2x8mm screws, and I'm going to add 4 of these to, whoops, if I don't lose the screws, 4 of these to the corners of the frame. Okay, I'll just do this quickly and show you the finished result when I come back. Okay, so I've added my 4 alloy pins, and I've gone for the 2 very corners, if you like, as far out as I've got holes, 2mm holes, in the 4 corners of the plate, which means now I can take my bottom plate, sit it over the top, and pop some screws into that. Now for now, I'm only going to put the M3 screws into the red standoffs. And I'm not going to use Loctite right now on these 4 screws, because I'm probably going to pull this bottom plate off again as I do the electronic fit out on the frame. But just to show you how simple this frame actually is to fit together, that is the basic frame assembly done. And I've got to tell you, that weighs nothing. There is no weight to that whatsoever. Now, this is not normal everyday carbon. This is 3K weave all the way through, which I don't think anybody else uses. Multi-we actually got this carbon specially laid. I think it was 18 layers off the top of my head, in the arms in particular. So this thing's going to be tough, but seriously, very light. Very rigid. This thing's going to be a ripper. Alright, so that's the frame built. Done. I'll come back soon and fit some motors. Catch you soon. Bye.